Welcome back, my people, to Gistway TV, your favorite space where truth meets tension, and where we dig into the stories others only whisper about. If you're joining for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell, because this right here, is not your usual Nollywood drama. This is a deep dive into the quiet storm surrounding one of Nollywood's most loved faces, Maurice Sam. For weeks now, the industry has been buzzing, and fans have been trying to read between lines. The same Maurice Sam who once lit up every screen beside Sonia Uche, whose on-screen chemistry made fans root for them even off-screen, has gone quiet. Not just quiet in interviews, but quiet in presence. A kind of silence that feels loaded, like something is going on behind the scenes that no one wants to name out loud. See, in Nollywood, silence often says more than a statement. When an actor suddenly avoids interviews, skips red carpets, or stops reacting to posts that used to get his attention, people start to ask questions. And with Maurice, those questions are multiplying every day. Insiders whisper that Maurice is in a deep dilemma, one that has nothing to do with script or sets, but with loyalty, love, and power. On one side is the new Nollywood wave led by women like Ruth Kodri, who are building an empire of independence and creativity. On the other side is the old Nollywood power structure, guarded fiercely by veterans like Mommy Nancy, whose word once decided careers. And right in the middle stands Maurice, torn between both worlds, trying not to lose himself in the process. After the Sonia Uche saga, fans expected Maurice to move on easily. But something changed in him. His posts became shorter, his captions darker, and the playful tone he once had on social media turned into deep reflections about loyalty, truth, and betrayal. Some fans think it's heartbreak. Others say it's fatigue from the constant online scrutiny. But those who know Maurice closely say it's deeper. It's about what happens when a man of calm energy finds himself caught between love and politics. He's been avoiding public events where Sonia, Pearl, or even Ruth might appear. Even when he attended a recent film premiere, he kept his distance, smiling for the cameras but leaving before the after-party began. That wasn't like him. Maurice is known to be friendly, grounded, and approachable. But lately, there's been an air of distance around him, as though he's carrying something heavy that words can't fix. Halfway into this gist, if you're still here, kindly subscribe and turn on your bell because what comes next might shock you. Behind the cameras, there's a tug-of-war happening. A quiet one. Ruth Kodri's camp, which includes some of Nollywood's fastest rising stars, reportedly wants Maurice on board for her next big project, a multicast movie centered on ambition, betrayal, and power. It's the kind of story that fits him perfectly. But here's where it gets complicated. That same script is rumored to mirror real-life industry conflicts, and one of the key characters is suspiciously similar to Sonia Uche. Now imagine Maurice acting in a film that indirectly echoes his real-life tension with Sonia. That's where his hesitation began. Sources close to him say he's been turning down projects quietly, not because of money or schedule, but because he doesn't want to be seen as choosing sides. And that's not all. Another production circle, one that still operates under Mommy Nancy's mentorship, has reportedly reached out to Maurice for a classic romance film that pairs him with an older Nollywood name, someone with whom he has shared history before Sonia came into the picture. Yes, that's where the whispers of an old flame started. People are saying Maurice might be reconnecting, not romantically, but emotionally, with someone who represents his early years in Nollywood, someone who reminds him of his roots. The person's name hasn't been confirmed, but insiders describe her as a veteran beauty who still holds power in the old system. And that connection has left the new camp unsettled. One insider even said, Maurice is playing chess with his own heart. He's trying to be loyal to everyone, but in Nollywood, that's how you lose yourself. Now, this statement hit hard because Maurice's strength has always been his calmness. But lately, his silence feels like a man calculating every step. He knows that aligning too much with Ruth Kodri's independent movement might upset the traditionalist. Yet, moving back toward the old power structure might paint him as someone afraid to evolve. And then there's the emotional undertone that fans refuse to ignore, the ghost of Sonia Uche. Their chemistry was too real to forget. Even though both have moved on professionally, fans still tag them in the same post, still imagine them as a duo. But for Maurice, that connection is both a blessing and a burden. It's what built his fan base, but it's also what chained him to a narrative he didn't create. Some say he's been privately supporting Sonia's career from afar, reposting without tags, showing up quietly for screenings, and congratulating mutual friends on her behalf. Others dismiss it as coincidence. But one thing's clear, Maurice's emotional core hasn't hardened. He's still the kind of person who feels deeply, and that makes his current dilemma even more complex. Recently, during a panel interview about the evolution of Nollywood, a journalist asked him what keeps him grounded. Maurice smiled faintly and said, knowing when to stay silent. That answer sent fans into frenzy. Because silence has been his new language, his shield against everything spinning around him. Midway through all this, his career hit a pause, intentional, but noticeable. One of his projects, a high-profile romantic series, was delayed indefinitely. Officially, it was for production reasons. But insiders say two of the producers, each from opposing Nollywood circles, couldn't agree on casting and narrative tone. And at the center of that disagreement stood Maurice. The deeper you look, the more it feels like he's a man trying to protect his peace in a world that profits from chaos. He's avoiding drama, but drama seems to be drawn to him naturally. But here's the twist no one saw coming. While everyone's busy debating whose camp he'll choose, Maurice has reportedly been working on something silently, a project of his own. Not just another acting role, but his first self-produced film. A project set to explore themes of loyalty, fame, and redemption. The title hasn't been announced, but the whispers around it suggest it's his way of reclaiming his narrative, of saying, "I'll no longer be a pawn in anyone's story." And if that's true, then Maurice Sam might just be preparing the boldest move of his career, breaking free from Nollywood's politics and creating his own lane entirely. Fans online are divided. Some say he's isolating himself too much, others believe he's finally found clarity. One fan commented, "Maurice is learning that peace costs attention." Another wrote, "He's the calm before Nollywood's next big storm." Either way, the story of Maurice Sam right now isn't just about love or loyalty, it's about evolution. About a man trying to define himself in an industry where image often overshadows truth. As I wrap this up, my people, I'll tell you one thing, sometimes the loudest war in Nollywood isn't between rivals, it's within those who choose not to speak. Maurice's silence might look like absence, but in reality, it's strategy. Because in a world that feeds on noise, silence can be the most powerful weapon. So tell me, my people, do you think Maurice is preparing for a comeback that will shake Nollywood, or is he slowly walking away from the chaos to build something deeper? Drop your thoughts below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time, hit that button, turn on your notification bell, and stay close, because the next gist will reveal what's truly happening behind this quiet storm. This is Gist Wait TV, signing off till the next one. But remember, in Nollywood, every silence hides a story, and every comeback begins in the shadows.